After the confusions of industrialism and war, Coventry has planned a modern city centre. One of the most up-to-date in the world, it has a shopping square like an Italian piazza, calm and free from traffic, where the public can shop from a balcony running along the first floor. A new cathedral behind the spire of the old, and, nearing completion, a civic theatre. Should theatres be subsidised? Alderman Stringer, chairman of the Theatre Trust, believes they should. Alderman Stringer, were the Town Council unanimous in their support of the civic theatre?
Well, to the best of my recollection, every member of the City Council voted in favour of the civic theatre, although some at the same time did express the doubts as to whether it would be a financial proposition.
Do you feel that a Town Council is under an obligation to provide a civic theatre for the ratepayers?
Well, in these days, definitely yes. I think it's one of those activities that today both the nation and the city have got to help to provide. I was surprised when I'd been abroad to find that cities on the continent with less populations than the city of Coventry take it as a matter for granted that they've got to provide this kind of cultural entertainment for the people.
Some people think the existing Coventry Theatre is sufficient, and supporting this view is Mr. Letts, editor of the Coventry Standard. I asked him to explain his objections.
Well, I feel that there's already a perfectly good theatre in Coventry. It seats over 2,000 people, and it puts on the best plays that you can find anywhere.
But isn't it too large for the sort of play that the Civic Theatre is going to put on?
Oh no, certainly not. Some of the finest plays have been seen there, and it seats, admittedly it does seat 2,000 people, but it's been well filled when we've had excellent plays there.
Is that your sole objection, that there's another theatre?
Oh no, I feel that the municipality should not go into the theatre business. I feel that the councillors are elected to do the ordinary business of a corporation, and that they shouldn't dabble in the theatre business.
But surely the ratepayers have had the opportunity to object if they don't like it.
Well, I'm afraid that the ratepayers so far have been rather apathetic. They will have to form their opinions later, but I can't see them paying the rates if they find that the civic theatre is a financial loss.
I asked a public objector, Mr. Weaver, what he felt about it.
I think the idea is all right, provided it doesn't involve any charges from the ratepayers.
Why do you think it should involve a charge on the ratepayer?
Well, if the theatre didn't produce plays which the public would attend, then naturally there would be a charge upon the ratepayers.
Well, what sort of plays do the public want then?
Well, I think the public would take good drama and comedy, provided it was good.
But why shouldn't the Civic Theatre put on good drama and comedy?
Well, I fear that there'll be a lot of amateur plays put on, which the public will go in small numbers to see, but they don't support it.
Well, what do the public think? Back in the precinct, I asked them, are you going to Belgrade Theatre when it opens?
Yes, I shall do, yes, because well, we need really more theatres. We haven't got hardly any. We've only got one really nice one, and that's the Coventry Theatre.
Are you going to Belgrade Theatre when it opens?
Yes, I haven't booked seats so far, but we shall patronise it when, you know, it gets
going. Do you think
going.
it's a good idea?
Yes, yes, I do.
You don't mind paying for it on the rate? Do any of you mind paying for it on the rate?
No, it'd be quite nice to know there's a theatre.
Well, haven't you been to the theatre in Coventry before?
Oh, yes, I have, yes.
What do you think this new theatre is going to give you?
I think it's going to be, well, give us a little bit more entertainment, I think, for those people that like it.
What do you think of this new Belgrade Theatre?
Well, I think it's a very good thing indeed. It's something I think Coventry's wanted for a long, long time. And though we've had this very good repertory company, you know, for the last few years or so, I think the new theatre will be a very, very good thing. I think we'll all be interested in it.
You think there's a real place in the city for a new theatre?
Definitely, that's the sort of thing we want.
Even though it's on the rates?
Well, to my point of view, I think it's got to be the rates. There's no alternative for it.
You're prepared to pay?
As a ratepayer and Coventry bred and born, I'm prepared to pay, definitely.
You don't mind that being subsidised by the rates?
Oh, not at all. I come from Birmingham. I wished we had a civic theatre in Birmingham, which is sadly lacking in Birmingham.
What sort of plays do you expect to see?
Oh, I don't really mind. It's just the principle that they are building a theatre. I mean, you can go anywhere around the country and see theatres being closed down for lack of support.
I invited a local theatre critic to tell me about the Coventry Theatre public. About this theatre, do you think it's a good idea?
I think it's a splendid idea.
But what sort of plays are they going to put on?
Simulating, challenging plays.
What do you mean by that?
I mean plays by contemporary playwrights dealing with the problems of contemporary society.
Now, the theatre-going public of Coventry, will they support that sort of play?
I think they will eventually, but an audience must be built up.
Yes, it would need 6,500 a week, say. That would be about 30,000 people supporting a theatre.
Eventually, I think they will support it.
How long will that take?
Quite some time, I'm afraid.
But how can the theatre keep going in the meantime?
Well, it may have to have a small subsidy, but is that such a terrible thing?
At the Belgrade Theatre itself, work was still going on inside. It's called the Belgrade Theatre because a gift of timber from the Yugoslavian capital was used in the interior of the theatre, the first major theatre to be built in England since the war, at a cost of over £200,000. On his own stage, I interviewed Brian Bailey, the new director. Well, Mr. Bailey, no one's going to deny that you've got a splendid theatre here, but your problem is going to be, how are you going to fill it?
Yes, that's a problem that faces every theatre director everywhere.
Yes, but I doubt whether you're going to fill a theatre of 900 seats with the existing people who like serious plays. What's your policy for building up a new audience?
Well, I think our emphasis is very definitely not going to be on serious plays, but on good plays, good theatre in the widest possible sense.
Good plays? What exactly do you mean by good play? On what level?
Well, I think we're going to find plays from abroad. I think that's awfully important. Coventry has got this rather exciting policy of having contacts with foreign countries. We want to echo that in our own policy in the matter of guest designers and producers and perhaps even drama students from abroad. And as well as that, I think we're going to find the new plays. That is certainly a policy that we want to follow here.
Yes, that's fine. But after all, this theatre belongs to the people of Coventry. Do you think they're going to swallow that sort of policy?
It's not a question of swallowing at all. I think that it's a challenge that we have here. The city has given us a challenge in a new theatre, and we in the profession have got to answer that challenge. But we are going to throw a challenge out to our audience as well.